Yes, I'm so excited. We have a special treat today. We're going to be talking with TD Watlington of Tighten Up with TD. Welcome and good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can you just start by telling us a little bit about you, especially for those who don't know you?
Well, I'm TD Watlington, and I have a aerobic YouTube channel that I teach fitness for women that are over 40, for beginners, and for veterans. I am a veteran myself, so I just decided, hey, let's just help somebody. So I turned on a video one morning, and that's how I got started.
I love it. I love it. How in your journey did you know that aerobics was going to be like your thing?
Well, I went to an aerobics class probably in the 90s when Jane Fonda and Richard Simmons were really just starting to get that platform going. And I was hooked. So I moved to Europe during my military career, and my next door neighbor invited me to a step-a-thon that was 5 hours of doing step aerobics. I had never seen that before, and I just totally fell in love. They just happened to be advertising for a fitness class for you to become an aerobic instructor, and I totally was sold. And I'm not an impromptu buyer, but I bought the book. I laid out how I was going to take off 40 hours of leave so that I could attend the class and how I was going to be able to pay for the class. And I did that, and it just took off. I did a testimony at church, and everybody in church, all the women came up to me afterwards. Hey, I want to join your class. I didn't even have a class set up, but they wanted it. So we started in an attic in one of the high-rise buildings in Darmstadt, Germany. And it was so crowded, it really was way past the limit of people that were supposed to be up there. And so I went to one of the gyms on the concern, and they allowed me to set up my classes, and then they made a position for me. I still was in the military, full-fledged soldier, but I would teach class at night. So for 5 nights a week, I would teach class. I went from step aerobics to kickboxing to water aerobics, and it just kept going. And so I did that for a while I was still in Germany. And then when I got back to the States in Missouri, I did it a while. Oh my goodness, I've done it in every state, and I actually retired in Missouri. So I kept it going, and I did personal training with clients while 9/11 happened, and that shut down the actual base. And so that made it a little difficult to get in to see the people, but nevertheless, we still kept going. And then finally, I got to the East Coast. And at my job at Walter Reed, I started substituting for the aerobic instructor. If she couldn't get on to Walter Reed, then she would call me and say, "Can you do my class?" And I just have a love for it because it's helping me, for one, to stay in shape, because I plan on being here till I'm 120 or Jesus comes sooner. And I just want to stay in shape. So one day I was on the treadmill, and I really just felt it in my spirit that I could help somebody with this. Just turn on the camera. I'm a talker, so I can talk, I can show you how to do the exercise, and it holds me accountable because I know that you're depending on me, and then you can depend on me. We can depend on each other. Hey, I thought, well, that's a great collaboration, and here I am. So I turn on that camera every morning to do my exercise, and however many people are out there joining me on the YouTube, that is fine by me. You're going to get a good workout. You're going to have fun. Hey, you might get an inspirational minute in there, but that's just what I do.
Well, so let's talk about that because you talk about being able to turn the camera on every morning. I'm sure the first time that you did that had to be scary. How did you overcome that fear of like, are people going to be there? Who am I going to reach? Like, how did you work through that?
Well, I guess since I was a kid, I've always had to get in front of people. So that part of the fear was not there. The part that would get me riled up where I get bubble guts is like, am I going to talk loud enough? am I going to remember the exercises that I planned on doing that day? So you have to practice. You have to plan. Okay, today I'm going to do upper body. Well, what exercises really target that upper body? So just planning it out, um, knowing the exercise and what it does for you, and how many minutes on the clock am I dealing with. That's one reason why I don't use my music. When I was teaching classes, I did use music, but with this, it's early in the morning, so I don't have to worry about counting the beats and are we on the beat? No, we are exercising. I was a drill sergeant in the military at one point, and there was no music. It was count 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what we do. You can count with me. I'm either going to go to 8, 10, 15, 20, or we're going to count backwards 20, 19, that kind of thing. Just give me more. And that's to keep it simple. That's where the fun comes in. Now, if you want music in your own background, you can do that, because you don't have to do it with me live. You can do it with me, afterwards, anytime during the day. So if you hit that notification button, you can turn me on and turn the music on and get fired up even more. You know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely. Well, as you've gone through your certifications and even as you've been even in different regions and countries teaching people in aerobics, what would you say has been your biggest aha moment or the toughest part of that journey?
Hmm. Well, when I took the 40-hour class and I met real professionals who were teaching us, it was like, man, this is just awesome. And just the knowledge that they had and how simplistic the classes were, because they're teaching you. And it's like, well, I compared it to being a drill sergeant. We had to learn the modules. They had to learn the modules. They have been doing it for a while. That experience is there now, so it can happen. So I could see myself doing that. And preparing for the test now, that was like the hard part, because they've changed over the years, and I'm certified through alpha, and that's your fitness association that's all over the world. I can go anywhere and teach. So they have a fitness theory and practical type format. You have to get prepared for taking the test. So if you're not a good test taker, then you might have a problem. But doing the practical work, it was like, okay, they may call on you and say, all right, you got a room full of people and you got to do squats. Talk us through squats. Well, the music is playing and you got to like find out where you are with the music. You never heard that music before, but you got to do it. And then they say, okay, let's go. We're going to do this. And you demonstrate exactly what you're going to do. That was like the hardest part the first time. Over the years, keeping your certifications up is pretty easy. You have to do 15 credit hours. So each year, every 2 years, you just go out and take tests online. You can do that. And the good part about being in COVID, everything was online. So you have to have your CPR and first aid qualifications always up to par, and taking those tests. You also can attend classes like an aerobics class or a yoga class that also gives you CEU points, so you can continue your education with that. It's lots of ways that you can do it, but it's fun because you're meeting people, you're learning what they know how to do. It also gives you letters behind your name. So if you want to be a kickboxing expert, you go to all the kickboxing classes. You want to do Pilates and you want to do yoga. All of those types of trainings are out there, and you take the classes. Hey, now you're certified, then you can pass on that training to lay people and you earn your clients like that. You just have to advertise for that.
And so you mentioned kickboxing, Pilates, yoga, step aerobics. You've taught every single one of those. How have you kind of stayed on top of those trends, or even as, okay, now everybody's kickboxing, now it's Pilates, now it's yoga. How have you kind of stayed on top of that to know what should I be doing now, or how do I flex and, grow an even more of an audience?
Just in the interest alone, when people ask you, hey, do you provide that? Well, okay, if I don't know anything about it, it's like, oh, well, I don't know. So I do keep abreast of all of the latest things. There's some trends that it's like, okay, that's a little too fast for me, so I tend to keep grounded with things that as age in progression, your ability to do things. If you keep up with something, you actually can train your muscles to do it. So if you want to do a lot of jumping and that kind of thing, you know, you can train your body to do that. But as I get older, my focus is how is this really helping me? You know, yes, I'm pumping and sweating, but is this really helping me? You have a lot of clients who are suffering with knee and joint pains and things like that, so they may not be able to do that. So I want to cater to people who, you know, if they're having joint pain, well, then we're not going to do 50 squats today because that person is looking for something that they can do it in a modified way. So I want to show you can do it sitting down as long as you're doing something. Then you exercising, you're increasing your heart rate, the blood is flowing, you're toning your muscles. So I try to cater to, you know, how the people of the age group that are watching, you know, that they can get something out of it. When you're sweating, and it's not showing any difference, you're working so hard, I try to stay away from that because I know my own body. I want to stay grounded and stay in a maintenance stage. If that's the lazy way to do it, you know, I know that I'm not alone. But I want to get my muscles where they're toned. I want to work hard, but there are times when I just want to get my exercise out. I can check the block. That's just how I'm trying to be human.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a beast, then you know you can just add another set to what we're doing. But to me, I just like to keep it simple. So I'm not a competitive person, if you will. I just want to do me, and if I can help you while I'm doing me, then that's just how I like it. So I just try to keep up with all of the latest things for Pilates, for kickboxing, for yoga and step aerobics. So I keep it. That's my genre right there, if you will.
I love that you know your target audience, but then you also are very self-aware that you know what's best for you, and then you're able to use that to help other people. And I know with aerobics and fitness, a lot of times nutrition comes into that too. So can you tell us a little bit just about the nutrition side, and what we can be doing to stay healthy on that side of it as well?
Good question. Good question. Well, for me, I try to like keep it simple. For I don't calorie count. I don't like the word diet. I try to eat sensibly where I, you know, stay away from a lot of fried foods. Now, don't get me wrong, every now and then I do have it. And I try to tell myself, okay, have you ever heard of intermittent fasting? So you have to break your fast sometime during the day. It doesn't have to be early in the morning because break fast actually means you're going to break from fasting because you slept all night, a couple of hours. So whatever time you start eating during the course of the day, you want to eat the right things for your body type. I know for me, my body type is what my androids is what gets me going as far as eating salty food, if that makes sense. Okay.
Mhm.
So I can get revved up after eating peanut butter and or a bag of chips. I'm ready to go. I'm like, let's go. Well, that might not be for you. You know what I mean? You might like sweets. Well, sweets make me crash after eating them. Okay. I like sweets, but I know that I'm gonna feel like bleh. So you have to know your own body type. You have to know, you know, what gets you going. So if once you find that out, then I think that you'll stick with whatever program you come up with. As far as eating properly, I do eat my proteins with through meats, eggs, that kind of thing. I have carbohydrates, and I really like pasta and rice, but I know that I have to pull back from that a couple of times during the week so that I can see my abs, you know, or stay away from shrimp. I have to, those are my ideal foods that I really like to eat. But I notice that when I eat them, then I don't have my little six pack, if you will. So you have to know your own body type. So in preparing meals, I try to prepare meals that are sensible where I get my fruit in there, I get my carbs, my fats, and my protein. So I kind of like stick to that daily, you know, chart, if you will, but nothing hard. And the amount of food. I try to portion it where, my meat, and I can eat a steak this big, but I know it's sensible just to eat maybe 6 ounces or less, that kind of thing. I don't do 3 meals a day. It's just how I feel. If I can get all my food in at lunchtime, because I do eat fast, then that's what I do. And then I'll eat something light for dinner, maybe a salad or something like that. But there's no real regiment. I just try not to cook the old fashioned way, like I was brought up on, with the butters and the grease and that kind of thing. So I may do more grilling, I may do more baking than the fried, but it's the same foods. I'm just preparing it a different way. I do add more turmeric to my food, um, cumin. I what is that other thing? Cayenne pepper, because I do know those type of ingredients will burn calories. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. How am I going to burn calories while I'm still sitting still? So if my body is still revved up and burning calories, then I know that I'm going to lose inches. I know that I'm going to be more toned. So I just keep it simple like that, and that's just me knowing me. But for helping clients know their bodies and stuff, I do go in a little bit more in depth individually, because it's an individual thing. One size doesn't fit all, and you just have to know that. People can't just blindly say, "Well, what can I do?" Because you need to know you. Do you know your body? Do you listen to your muscles when we're doing stretches and things like that? Did you eat, a plate full of pasta the night before? Did this make you feel sluggish and bloated, and or does this rev you up? You ready to go? You can tighten up with TV. Come on, give me more, kind of thing. You have to know your own body, and if you're just starting out, the good thing about it is write down what it is you like to eat. If you like to eat bread, if you like to drink sodas and things like that, and I say, okay, you guys, we're gonna pull away from drinking soda today. Well, if you drink 5 sodas a day or a liter, then maybe don't drink the whole liter. Start little by little. Don't just throw everything away, because you're not going to stick to that. So just maybe if you drink 3 glasses of soda, then maybe only drink 2.5. That's a win right there, because you can check the block. Well, I didn't drink all 3. So whatever it takes to motivate you, then that's what you're going to stick with. You don't have to blame anybody. You just know, hey, I know that I did less today of that. And then tomorrow, hey, do even less. Treat yourself, So whatever it takes for you to stick to a program and you find your niche in it, I just say, hey, let's go for it. If eating is a problem for you, just take a little bit away at a time. Get out and walk a little bit more. Walking is the most simplest type of exercise that you can do. You can walk around in the house. So if it's raining, there's no excuse. If it's snowing, there's no excuse. Walk around in the room. When I say use your room and walk around, move your arms, whatever it takes. You're burning calories. You will see results.
I love that. I love that. And it sounds like it's more of a lifestyle change. It's not overnight success or things are just going to change. Today you make a decision, tomorrow it's different. You got to take that one day at a time, which really makes me want to ask you, with us getting ready to go into the holidays, there's parties and everybody's got cookies and treats and so many different foods that are right in front of you. What would be your suggestion of how we are able to go through the holidays and still have those lifestyle changes where we're eating healthy, but we can still enjoy the parties and all the things that are going to be before us over the next couple of months?
That is a fabulous question. The thing that I say to do, if you have a lot of parties, eat before you go to the party so you're not starving. Okay. And it's okay to purchase your clothes a little bit bigger than what you normally wear. So, say for instance, I always say, hey, I'm a size 6. I'm not buying a size 8. But sometimes the designer of the clothes, may cut them small. So you have to take that into consideration. So if you're gonna wear something that's just uber tight, then you need to start eating a little bit earlier in the day so that you can eliminate that, because you should be eliminating every meal, if you're eating the right consistency of fiber and things of that nature. So if you're gonna be going to big parties 2 or 3 times a week, plan ahead by either eating a smaller meal so you're not famished by the time you get to that party. So, remember to exercise so that you can burn those calories, and you'll have a little bit of deficit there where you can kind of like, all right, well, I can eat some more beans, if you will. You got to have fun with it. It can't be so rigid that you just got to count, at least not for me. I just try to think about, okay, well, where are we going? When was the last time that I ate? Am I full? Am I just famished? I could eat a horse kind of thing, which I never say that, but I'm just using that as an example. You don't want to go there and try to pick out. You want to eat just small portions. So if they do have some really delectable foods, then just take a small amount of each thing. Take your time chewing. If you chew 20 times, then you can get full fast, and your brain will be, okay, well, we are full, we don't need to eat anymore, that kind of thing. So you hear me say, you tell your brain,
Yeah.
I always say that because there's a purpose behind that.
Mhm.
You just don't eat just to be eating, for comfort. I've been there. Or you eat so fast like I do that I can eat everything that's on the table presented to me. No, I'm in control. The food doesn't control me. So it's a whole game with me. And it is, you said the right thing. It is a lifestyle. Okay. So it being a lifestyle, this means that this is going to be with you often. And you're going to have to pay attention to your body. Some things that you eat may make you feel like, ugh, I shouldn't have ate that. Well, how are you going to know if you're eating everything around you? So take your time, sit down and think about, well, what is it that I really, really like to eat? Those things that you really, really like to eat probably are the things that's doing you the most harm. I named peanut butter, shrimp, those types of things is really what makes me feel bloated, but I like them, but I don't eat it all the time. So when I do want it, I have to eat it in moderation so that I can enjoy it. So I try to slow down and chew it so my brain will say, okay, you've had enough, but I'm like, I want a little bit more, Because at one point my mind used to be like, I could see myself, I'm thin, 17% body fat, but my mind still saw me heavy. So I had to change my mindset when it came to that. You have to be transformed by renewing your mind. So I did have to read a lot of books. I had to, think about what I was doing, and then I was able to overcome it. Plus, I was still in the military, and I had to take what they call PT tests, and you had to be a certain weight. So it wasn't hard for me to snap back. I've been overweight to from going from a 130 to 150. I've done that. And that was from stress, from work, because I maintained my body weight. I went in the military at 123. When I separated or retired from the military, I was 126. So you tell me I was doing something right. I only gained 3 pounds. And then after I got out of the military, which has been 20 years, then I gained, all of this weight, and it was before COVID. And so when we went into COVID, that snapped me back. Hey, I'm up to 150. I've never been this even, at my pregnant weight. So I got busy. I was like, okay, I did me a dream board. And I was like, I'm going to be 133 pounds, by this time frame. And I had to do the work. So I went back and I got certified in my aerobics, and I started, getting on that treadmill, doing my 10,000 steps a day. Every day I was drinking my 8 ounces of water. I took my weight and divided it in half. That's how many ounces of water I would drink a day. I mean, I did the work because I wanted to see the results. And so if that works for me, then hey, then I can help somebody else do that. But you just got to know what works for you and do it, stick to it. You got to stick to the plan that you're going to choose, whatever niche that is. It doesn't have to necessarily be with tighten up with TD. You may come up with your own things, because exercise is universal. So if you're doing your biceps this way, and you like that, then you could teach somebody this way, or you can take it down by your waistline, whatever. Nobody can be insulted, oh, you doing that like me, because it's universal. And that's a compliment. If somebody's doing the same thing that you're doing and they want to teach it, go for it. There's room, all right? There's room out here, and there's no limit to the type of exercises that can be done. So I always say, go and have fun. Tighten up with TD. If I'm who you like, come on in. All right, come on into
I
the
love
room.
that. I love it. Well, you mentioned quite a few things in there that made me think about because you talked about emotional eating. You talked about, the fluctuating of weight. And for you, the military was a really big factor in the beginning of staying in shape until you were able to bounce back. But then after the military, it was like you had that wake up call. What would you say would be like the first step for someone who maybe they're like, this isn't the weight that I want to be and I want to get healthier, but they don't have the military behind them driving them to get it done? What would be like that first next step? Because I mean, you're talking about the emotional mindset that you've got to get in check as well. What would they do to get started and then be able to keep going from there?
First of all, you gotta love yourself. So just knowing that you are enough, that you matter, that you are important enough to take care of yourself. Even though you're taking care of other people, yourself matters. So you have to give yourself affirmations. Look in that mirror and say, girl, you look good, that kind of thing. You have to motivate yourself. So if you've been sitting on the couch for the last 20 years, you haven't been doing anything, just really just nothing. Now is the time to just say, I'm tired of being tired, and let me do something about myself. So if nothing else, pick up a pencil or pick up your phone and go to the little note section and just start saying, hey, I matter. I want to lose this amount of weight. So you're not going to lose 50 pounds in 3 days unless you had surgery. Okay, let's just be real. So if you're 400 pounds, then just say, okay, I'm gonna lose 2 pounds this week. Well, how do you lose 2 pounds? That means if I can sit here, hold my arms up like this, I can't get out of bed, but I can hold my arms up like this. Can I bring them forward like this? Maybe do that 4 times today. Well, if you do it 3 times in one day for 10 minutes, then that's 30 minutes of exercise. Okay. So let's just break it down even more. If the 10 minutes is too much and it's stressing you out, then just do it for 30 seconds. Okay. 30 seconds, rest, 2 hours, come back, do 30 seconds more, whatever it takes. My main point in saying all this is little by little. Just do little by little. You will see the results because you're going to get stronger. If you consistently do something, it's going to work for you. So consistently doing the right things, not the wrong thing, consistently doing the right things, which means raise those arms up, because raising it above your head, that's going to make your heart rate speed up. Okay. Now, okay, that's a start, because now you're burning calories because your heart rate is going up. Simple, right? Just keep it simple. Now, can I raise my arms a little bit more? A little bit more, a little bit more. Look at that. All right. Now bring it down. Okay. Now, if you just did that with me, look. All right. And I'm getting stronger. So little things like that. And just reward yourself by just saying, girl, you are awesome. Pick that knee up. Just push back from the table. Lift your knee up, one knee at a time. Just squeeze as you lift. Little bitty things like that. I promise you, you'll start seeing the results. And pretty soon you can get up off that couch. You can use your room. You can walk around. This might not work for everybody, but it's just that simple. So when I say in the morning, okay, everybody, you know what we do? We got to give God all the glory. I believe in keeping him first, because he's the one that's going to be in that room with me if nobody turns on that site to look at Tighten Up with TV. I'm still doing this for me, and I'm doing it to the glory of him. So he's given me the strength to do it. Then I'm honoring him because, Lord, I'm doing this to the glory of you. Because I heard him say, turn on that camera and do this. So, bottom line, to answer your question, is to start little by little and just do what you can do. Write down what it is you want. Those are your goals, your vision. You got to make it plain, because successful people get up early in the morning. They do their exercise. They write down their ideas. They read their ideas over and over again, and they pray. So those are the things that I do, and that helps me. So I pass that on to you.
I love that. I love that. And you really just drove home the message of love God, love yourself, and love others. And you have to do it in that order. And so I don't know about everybody else, but I'm like, I want to join. I want to tighten up. How can they join or follow you in order to tighten up with TD?
Okay, I'm on YouTube and it's
Okay.
Tighten Up with TD. TD like in touchdown. All right.
Okay.
And I'm also on Instagram, Tighten Up with TD. And I'm also on Facebook as Tonia Watlington. So you can follow me. I'm on every morning, 5 days a week at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay. And so 5 days a week, are we doing the same thing every day? Is it a little bit different or what's kind of how is that set up?
Well, I try to have a little schedule so that I can get toned in the right muscles and all. So I on Mondays I do upper body. On Wednesday it's cardio Tuesday. Thursday, no, did I skip one? Tuesday is cardio Tuesday. Wednesday is lower body. Thursday is relaxing Thursday. And then Friday is full body. So we're going to bring everything that we learned during the course of the week, we're going to bring it all in on Friday. Sometimes I'll have a chair in there. Sometimes I'll have weights. Sometimes I'll have a step in there. Who knows? But sometimes it's just our own muscles. And you have to know that these muscles can be heavy. If you do a repetition a couple of times, you're going to get to that muscle failure. You're like, oh, I can't do no more. So that's the beauty of it all. And, if you keep doing this for, say, 5 to 6 weeks, then you can increase your weights. If you start out with no weight, then you can increase it to 2 pounds, to 5 pounds, to 6 pounds, whatever, because you're getting stronger. All right. Or if you just rather do it without weights, all of that is incorporated. So we do it. Just come on and join us and have a good time.
I love it. I love it. And what I hear you saying is we don't have to wait until January to become a better version of ourselves. We can start right now.
Right now, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to wait. So even after we get off the podcast, you can start walking around in your room. You can start thinking about, well, okay, how many glasses of water do I need to drink? How much fiber do I need in my body? Okay, go eat an apple. And if there's any allergies or anything like that, don't worry about it. Use a substitute. Okay, but do something because you're doing it for yourself. If you don't take care of you, how can you take care of anybody else? So just keep it simple and just make a plan. And the plan is to get started. Love yourselves. You're worth it.
I love it. I love it. Dee, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. You have truly got me motivated. I'm like, I have my Fitbit on. I'm ready to go walk around and get my steps in and start taking better care of myself as well. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. Guys, for any more information, please go to Tighten Up with TD. You can check with her on YouTube, Instagram, and on Facebook, 5:30 in the morning. If you don't want to get up that early, you can tune in anytime throughout the day. So thank you guys so much. We hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye bye.